recording?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, so here we go. Today we're going to prepare for a performance task. It's called the Deserts Performance Task. So we're going to brainstorm. You are going to turn to a partner and talk about this question. If your partner is not here, join a threesome. What do you know about deserts? Go ahead. Turn and talk. Turn and talk to someone. Turn and join a conversation. Gavin, sit and join a conversation. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lily, scoot your body over. I don't want you to sit there. Thank you. Okay. I don't think I got to 0, but what do we know about deserts? I heard people saying a lot of interesting things. Raya.
Animals dig burrows in the daytime and stay in there until night when the sun isn't out.
Ah.
So it's cooler.
So you're talking about animal adaptations, right? How animals are adapted to survive in their environment. Okay. Because it's hot, they're digging a burrow. Okay. Kai?
It only rains once a year in some deserts.
Okay. It only rains when?
Once a year in some deserts, and other deserts it doesn't rain at all.
Okay, so there's very little rain in the desert. Good. Okay. Yeah. Kate?
It's hot there.
It's hot. Okay. Jesse?
It's really, really cold at night in the desert.
Okay, so sometimes it can be hot and sometimes it can be really cold. Somebody over here was talking about a different kind of desert that maybe isn't hot, though.
Oh, I know.
Blake, what were you talking about? You were talking about another kind of a desert that's not hot. What desert were you talking about?
Antarctica.
Is it hot in Antarctica?
No.
Do you guys agree that Antarctica is a desert?
It is.
Yes.
How many people think it is? How many people think it isn't? Okay, so here's the question. What makes Antarctica a desert? Think about that. Jackson.
I think that makes it a desert because not very many people live there, mostly animals and stuff, and that's kind
Okay, what about the Amazon jungle where no people live? Is that a desert?
No.
Okay, so it's not just because people don't live there. Do you have another idea, Emily?
There's no trees. It's just all open.
Okay, but we live in the high desert and there's trees here, right? They call it a desert. You guys hit on it a minute ago. You were talking about how deserts have none of something.
Water.
Yeah, it's about how much water they have, okay? So, not all deserts are hot, because you're right, Antarctica is another kind of a desert, okay? Shh. However, all deserts, here's what you do need to know. To be a desert, you must get less than 10 inches of rainfall a year. That's why the Amazon, even though there's no people living there, it seems desolate in some places. Not a desert if it gets more than 10 inches a year. So is a rainforest a desert?
No.
That's the opposite. Okay, so what you're going to talk about now is, so are all deserts hot?
No.
Are all deserts cold?
No.
Do all deserts get very little rainfall?
Yes.
Okay, so in a desert, think about how would it feel to be there? What would be around you, okay? And what kinds of things would you do? So think about you in the desert. What would it be like to be there? And you get to turn and talk to somebody sitting next to you again. Go ahead and talk about
One thing I would say
Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, I want to hear some ideas. What would it be like in the desert? What would be around you? What kinds of things would you do? How would it feel to be there? Jacob.
It would be very cool.
Cora.
There would be no humans or
Okay. Okay, so you feel like there wouldn't be a lot of people around? Maybe kind of plain or desolate? It might feel kind of desolate. What about here? We live in a desert. Is it desolate here?
No.
Sometimes people live in the desert. In Arizona, they live in the desert.
I know.
But yeah, it can feel kind of desolate there. Okay, what else, Athena?
It's kind of the same in Australia. It's really hot. It's got a lot of snakes.
Okay, it might be hot. Is it always going to be hot?
No.
There might be snakes. Are there going to be snakes in Antarctica's desert?
No.
Okay, there might be snakes. It might be hot. Something else? Jesse?
If we were in the Arizona desert, there would be tall saguaro cactus around us.
Okay, you might see cactus in certain kinds of desert.
Yeah.
Emily?
I can't remember what they're called. They're like the, I can't remember what it's called. It's like a ball that just blows.
Tumbleweeds?
Tumbleweed.
Tumbleweeds. Okay, so we know a lot about hot deserts, don't we? What about other kinds of deserts? What else?
Snowstorms.
How would it feel if you didn't have a lot of water there? You might have a snowstorm, but it doesn't really snow that much. There might be a snowstorm. What else, Elise?
Might see penguins.
Ah, you might see penguins. Okay, a different kind of desert. That'd be cool. What else, Gage?
There would be lots of water.
There would be lots of water?
Yeah, Antarctica.
No.
If you're on the land,
There's no water.
the water is probably all frozen ice. I don't know if there would be much water there because it says that there's not a lot of water in a desert. Yeah.
Sandstorm.
You might have a sandstorm or a snowstorm, okay? You might have to escape the heat or the cold, right? What else? Shannon?
You could get really thirsty.
Ooh, you might feel really thirsty. Do you think finding water would be a big deal?
Yes. And the
Having a way, what would be some of your obstacles there then? What kinds of things would you do? Can you take your arm off there? Thank you, love. Try not to touch it because I want the video camera not to get knocked over. Yeah.
Did you call me?
Yeah.
I didn't hear it. That's why I was asking. I didn't hear what you said.
You didn't hear.
What kinds of things would you do?
Oh, like you would try to look for water. You would try to.
You might look for water.
and try to stay in like a cold place and stuff, or find a warm place if you're in Antarctica.
Okay, so find some kind of shelter from the heat or the cold. Find shelter from heat or cold or whatever. Yeah, Jesse?
Like, one of the obstacles is the water you might find could be alkali water.
Oh, in the desert might be
Yeah.
alkali water. Okay, so that might be around you, alkali water, because we learned about that, huh?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you see like mirages?
Mirages, okay, because the sun would really get to you. That hot sun, right? Might make you see mirages
Like
or hallucinate. Even in the cold, you could do that, right? Yeah. What else, Emily?
Sometimes if you get like really hungry and hot thirsty, you can get really sick.
Oh, you might get sick. Okay, tell me, you guys didn't mention hunger before.
I did.
How are you going to eat?
Oh.
You said it's kind of desolate, right? Are the animals going to be out? Because Ellie said that some animals are going to be hiding from you during the day, right? I'm sorry, Raya said that. Okay, Gage, one more, then we're going to move to the next page. Are you ready? Voices off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well,
Thank you,
there
Gage.
wouldn't be much animals, but I mean, you would definitely find some. over
You'd have to
time.
find animals. You'd have to hunt for your food.
Yeah, like penguins and like maybe.
Okay, so you have to find animals. Whether you're going to eat penguins or fish or owls, okay? Owls live in the desert, I know
Wait,
that.
you can find water from cactuses, like.
Oh, ways that you might have to get your water would be creative ways to find your water. Okay, I'm going to wait. You guys have got to figure out how not to blurt right now. Jacob, one last one, then we're going to move on.
You have to face harmful animals.
Marley. Thank you. I'm sorry.
You have to face harmful animals,
What kind of animals?
harmful.
Oh, so predators, animals that you have to figure out how to be safe, protection from predators.
Like snakes.
Oh, not even necessarily predators then. Protection from
Weather.
harmful, from harm. Okay, so weather too. Harmful animals. Animals, weather. Okay, you guys have a lot of ideas. Let's move to the next page because this is going to help you guys a little bit too. Okay, so you've seen a Venn diagram before, right?
There's an app.
Okay, yeah, you have an app for it. That's true. But you're not going to be able to use your app today. You're going to have to, if you want to draw a Venn diagram while you're taking the test, you're going to have to do it on paper. Okay. So, but we're going to take notes in a Venn diagram right now about what you know about the desert. Okay. So we're going to look at how these two kinds of deserts. You guys mentioned a cold desert. And you mentioned a hot desert. So let me show you a picture of a hot desert and a cold desert. Ah, that one looks a lot like the one you were talking about, Antarctica. This picture shows a cold desert where the ground is covered. Okay. And I gotta film this. With snow and ice. There are large groups of penguins standing together. There are no trees or bushes. Okay? And then we have the other desert, which looks like... Let me see if I can get them side by side. This is a hot desert. Oh, what kind of animals do you see in this one? Camel. This picture shows a hot desert with fine sand covering the ground. There is a camel walking on the sand. There's a tree with a bent trunk and a tree with a straight trunk. There are also some short bushes.
Maybe there's a snake.
Okay, so let me see if I can get the camera set up again. Hey Gavin, will you make sure that this is actually on me right now?
Okay.
How's that look? Okay.
That's good.
Is it on me? Is it on his? Can you see this?
Oh.
Is it set up to look at this?
Okay, now it's good.
Okay. So hot desert. So we're going to think about, okay, what are the ways these two deserts are the same? Those things are going to go in the middle in a Venn diagram. So tell me something that would be the same. How are they similar, Raya?
They both have animals in them.
Oh, they'll both have animals. Okay. Are they going to be the same kind of animals, though? No. Probably not. Right. Okay. Emily.
They both don't have very much water.
Ah, very little water. or rainfall. Gage?
It's gonna be like plain or desolate.
Okay, they might be a little bit desolate, although, like we said, we have a lot of trees here in our desert. Might not be that they look very similar, huh?
And there's a lot of civilization in Arizona.
Sure, there are some deserts that do have a lot of civilization. Okay, what else? Jackson.
They both like they don't have very many people like living there, like living on
Okay, so that's what this word kind of means,
Oh, yeah,
right?
but
Is
that's
there
not-
might not be a lot of people living there. Okay, in some places there might though. So in Arizona there is desert and people live there.
you can get
So maybe in terms of the kinds of plants that live there, so we'll put a question mark near that one.
Mazra.
Okay, Shannon, anything else?
Say that they both have very little trees.
Is that always going to be true? It might be. They have trees here though. Maybe not every desert. How it looks and the climate might be different. Okay. Anything else about similarities? Yeah, Tia.
Maybe there's alkali.
I don't know if there's alkali water in a cold desert setting. But let's talk about hot desert versus cold desert. What do you already know about a hot desert? What's going to be in a hot desert? Think about this picture that's up here with the camel in it, okay? What's going to be there? Cora.
Plants.
What kind of plants, though?
Like trees or.
Oh, we said cactus, maybe?
Dead bushes.
Dead bushes like the tumbleweeds. Maybe in this kind of desert you might see palm trees, right? Palm trees are in, like where there's an oasis, right? There might be an oasis with water in it. Oasis. You know what an oasis is?
I forgot. But
That's where there's going to be little pools of water.
Oh yeah.
Like the guy has the mirage and he's walking out because there's water, and he comes across the oasis, right, where the water's there, and the palm trees are all growing around it. Yeah.
For the similarities, they both have dinosaurs.
What do you
In
mean?
Antarctica, yeah.
What do you mean?
Okay.
You can find
Could there be dinosaurs in places where there are not deserts, though?
yeah.
It might not be a defining thing about a desert. They are going to have animals that. But what about those animals?
They're not really similar at all.
They might not be similar. What would the animals? The animals might be adapted to where they live, right? Animals with specific adaptations. That might be true of the kind of dinosaurs, but we don't know what that environment was like a long time ago. The environment could have been a swamp, right? So I'm not sure that really defines a desert. We might have some deserts that don't have any dinosaurs. I don't know. I can't think of a single place on Earth that wouldn't have dinosaurs, though. Can you? Yeah. Okay, Jesse.
It's not about this, but Sophia ripped up her whole journal back there.
Okay, you need to just pay attention to you, okay? Okay, how is the climate going to be like here? We didn't mention that. Climate. Only Jackson has his hand up. You don't know what climate is in a hot place? Tia?
In a hot place,
Hot.
it's hot.
Yeah, really hot,
And at
right?
night it's cold.
Is there good soil?
No.
What's the soil like?
sand.
It's really sandy, probably. Okay.
You'll probably get sand in your eyes.
Okay, what about cold desert? What do you know about cold desert already? What are some things that are different than a hot desert? Ellie. Ice, okay. All the water might be in ice. You might not be able to drink it at all because it's ice. How will you melt it? If you're an animal, how would you drink it? That would be really hard. Emily. Shh.
It's really cold.
Really cold. It might even be cold in the desert sometimes. Both places might get cold at night, right? And I'm not sure. Cold might be a way that they're kind of similar, but we'll put a question mark.
Yeah, but it's absolutely freezing.
Because it's cold here at night in the desert, isn't it?
Is it ever hot?
Is it ever hot in Antarctica?
No.
I do not know the answer to that.
Actually, it can because
global warming?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. But let's talk about what else we know. What kind of animals would live there? What kind of plants would live there? Any ideas? Shannon? Penguins? What else, you guys?
Polar bears?
No, those are the
Polar
North.
bears.
Those are the North Pole.
Ah, but is there a desert in the North Pole?
Yes.
Maybe. So some Antarctica might not have polar bears. Do they have penguins?
Yeah, they do.
Seals?
Leopard
Okay.
seals.
Yeah, think about that movie Happy Feet, right? Okay.
Oh, leopard seals.
Yeah.
There's like caves.
Caves. Oh, places where they might find shelter and stuff. Maybe like ice caves. Okay.
Killer whales.
Glaciers. Good. Where all the water is locked up tight, right? Yeah.
Snow leopards.
Snow leopards. Yeah, I'm not sure what kind of a desert they're in, but I think snow leopards are somewhere in Asia, and they might be in a cold desert there, because we have a cold desert here. We're not in Antarctica or the North Pole, right? But we live in a desert. Okay. Yeah, Alex. One more thing, and then we're going to
Sharks.
they're in the water. I don't know if the desert would be the land, right? Not the water. So the animals that can go on land might be on the desert. The water environment is actually the ocean, right? Is that a desert?
No. That's the opposite of a desert.
Yeah, kind of the opposite, like a rainforest. Okay, so guys, put your hands down. I think you have the idea, okay? So, I want you to think about any information that is true for both deserts. Let's see, what else do I gotta have you do? I think we're basically done. Let me see what this says.
Do you guys do any research?
I think we're pretty much done. So, did you guys take notes?
Yes.
Okay. Look over your notes. You are not going to be able to keep your notes. You're going to rip out that page right now, and you've got to hand it to me. And we've got to cover up all these. I can't give you these notes when we do the Smarter Balance. The idea was that you're kind of thinking about deserts right now, right? And that deserts are more than just a hot place. Okay. So pass up your work to me, and then you guys can go back to your seats, okay?